The good thing about being triggered is that it shows us what we need to work through and heal. Hello and welcome. My name is Gareth Flick, and in today's video, let's talk about being triggered. I'd just like to share some of my thoughts and what I feel goes on, and hopefully it might help you. If not, that's okay. So when we get triggered, it's often attached to a belief or an event that happened in the past. And when we get triggered, our whole body, our brain gets flooded with gamma waves: fight, flight, defensive, rage, or freeze. Someone might trigger you and you're like, we don't know what's going to happen. We end up reacting. We don't respond. We react, and it's out of emotions because we're so clouded and, angry and fearful, or whatever the feeling is that's been triggered. What is it attached to? We're not in a clear space to respond, so often react, and this is how fights and a lot of stuff goes down, out of emotions and reaction, and not actually a clear thinking mind. So for me personally, when I get triggered now, I ask myself, why? Do I value their opinion of me more than I value myself? Or is this attached to an event when I was a child or growing up? When was the first time I felt this feeling? That is always a really good one. When was the first time I felt this feeling? Why, for example, when I started to be a business owner and I'm going to go out into the business world and do marketing, and I had a male client and I had to ring him every 2 weeks to jump on the call. And each time I had to go to make that call, I would be triggered. I would be filled with fear and scared to call, with this overwhelming feeling I'm in trouble, I'm not good enough, I haven't done good. Which is funny, because that, I had no idea why, but I eventually found out it was attached to my childhood. And I developed a fear of men of authority. So when I went to call this man, it triggered me back to the age, let's say I was 7 when this event happened when I was a kid or whatnot. Just as an example, it would trigger me back to being the age of 7 in my mind. And I couldn't call. I just wanted to watch YouTube or hide away and run or just avoid. I'm going to get in trouble. I'm going to get in trouble. I had this feeling I'm going to get in trouble. So I'd avoid it until my belief I was going to get in trouble would happen. Because I would avoid it so long. He's like, well, Gareth said he was going to call me. Where is he? He hasn't called me. So I'd get in trouble. So my unconscious belief that, I get in trouble with men of authority or they're scary or whatnot, I would avoid, and it would become truth for me. But once I became aware that I was actually freaking out and this was due to my childhood, I got to go back and revisit my childhood in my mind and heal the root, heal the wound of that trigger. And now I can just call. G'day, mate, how are you doing? Because men aren't scary. Sure, there are some out there that are pretty, okay, I can't say all men aren't scary, but in my world, in my reality, in the people in my life, there's no one that's scary. So that wasn't a truth anymore. I could heal that wound and let it go and meet lots of lovely men that I do good work with and can have fluent conversations with. So what I realized what the trigger was, why I was being triggered. Okay, when was the first time I felt it? Okay, that takes me back to, I felt like this at this age when I was a child. Okay, let's go back in my mental. Let's revise that situation, heal it, create a new memory type seat, or remember all the times where the men were in my life that were actually loving and being really kind, instead of focusing on like maybe little outliers that left a sting. Yeah, so it's often attached to the past. When was the first time I felt this feeling of being triggered? And what can I do to soothe it? Havening. Have you ever been triggered in these days now? just stop and start havening, gently rubbing your hands like this together as this sends your brain into delta waves, and it shuts off the fight flight mode. You can only get delta waves in deep sleep, and you can only sleep if you feel safe. So in doing this, it makes your brain feel safe. So if you ever get triggered and you need to respond to a message or a text or anything, and you're overwhelmed and flooded, your brain's flooded with all these emotions, just stop, sit back, look at the walls. Okay, wherever you are, look around. Okay, I'm actually in the spot right now. I'm safe. There's nothing around me that's here that can hurt me. This is a message I'm responding to. Start havening, get calm until you're back to a nice level state of mind where you can observe and think about it. Seek first to understand before we respond. These people, say someone's messaged you and you've been triggered. Are they projecting? Is there truth? Are we triggered by the truth in their statements? Or are we triggered because they are projecting something onto us that we know is not truth? Just have a look at it. And then how can I respond with the highest good out of love? Am I responding out of love or fear? Think about that as well. There's so many circumstances or situations where we get triggered. These are just little examples. But definitely, if you get triggered, start havening and actually dive into this. Why am I being triggered? Or why has this person got such a power over me? Why? Do they possess something that would benefit my life? My other friend, he used to be really assertive. And he'd be like, come in, Gareth, I need to speak with you, sit down. And he would tell me exactly his thoughts or feelings that da-da-da-da-da. And I'd get angry, I triggered. And I'm like, what is it? What is it? Why am I triggered? Oh, he has something that I feel would benefit me in my life. He has the ability to just be like, Gareth, sit down, I'd like to speak, and then speak points where I hadn't developed that at that time. I'd be too nervous to do that with anyone. So I'd get angry because there was something in him that would actually help me. So that was another good learning. Are they possessing, you should talk about people, are they possessing something that might benefit us? Is that why we're angry at them or triggered? There's a lot of things that definitely, when you are triggered, just know, okay, this is happening, the highest good for me to learn how to deal with this, take my power back, so I don't let the external world create an inner reaction. Okay, we want to be able to walk through life and people say something and you just feel like, okay, if you don't agree, you can just observe it and not react and not get so angry and upset because we're giving our power away. If someone says something, then we're dismantled and disabled. They're like got so much power over us. And we're giving ours away. So figure out, why is it I'm triggered? Do the work, do the inner work. And then you keep thinking about it. You can go over the situation, do your havening of the situation until you can just look at it without a sting. I've had people I've used as tests for myself because I've known them to be a certain way. And in the past, I'd be like, oh, triggered. And now like they can do something and I just, nothing. I can respond clearly or even take the time. What is it attached to? How can I heal it? I hope this is helpful. Just if it's been speaking with my mum. She brought up about triggered. So we had a wee conversation about it and I thought it'd be a nice conversation to bring to the channel, as I know it's quite a big thing on our journey to healing and being comfortable in the world. May peace be on your soul. Thanks for the likes, comments, and subscriptions. And I will see you in tomorrow's video. Bye.